So very good afternoon. Welcome to the second scientific session, opportunities and challenges of medicinal plants cultivation. See, there are a lot of opportunities in the cultivation sector, particularly on the medicinal plant cultivation. There are high value species, cultivation of high value species, cultivation of high volume species, cultivation of economically important species, and cultivation of wild relative species and cultivation of important RET species. So these are all areas where we can have a lot of opportunities, and particularly the areas, the medicinal products, food products, and cosmetics. These industries are very much utilization of these medicinal plant raw materials, and there are a lot of opportunities also. Apart from this, there are exports. Export is one of the important area where we can have opportunities to get more information, more aspects on the involvement of medicinal plants development. And apart from that, when we look at the challenges, there are many challenges are there. The quality is one of the important quality raw material. That is the challenge. And another thing is quantity, whether we are getting exact quantity for all the ASU industries, there is a question mark. And apart from that, there are challenges in good agricultural practices, good cultivation practices, good collection practices, and also for good laboratory practices. These are all challenges and issues, many things, because adulteration is one of the important issues in the raw material. So when we look at these things, these activities of cultivation of medicinal plant and challenges, there are a lot of issues and challenges and opportunities are there. Today we have 4 speakers. Professor Dr. Osman Kola, Turkey Science and Technology University from Turkey. Dr. K.C. Chaku, Regional Director, Southern Region from Kerala, RCFC. And Dr. Arun Chandan, Regional Director, RCFC, Northern Region 1 from Himachal Pradesh. And another speaker is Professor Sheikh Bilal Ahmed, Regional Director, RCFC, Northern Region 2 from JNK. So we may have very good information about the cultivation and opportunities and challenges from all the 4 speakers. They are very good expert in the cultivation and other activities. So one by one we'll go through that. I welcome all 4 of you. Then for first presentation, I'll request to call Professor Dr. Osman Kola, Turkey Science and Technology University, Faculty of Engineering Department of Food Engineering, Adana, Turkey. So now I request to Osman Kola to take up this session, please.
Thank you, Murugeswaran.
Yeah, please.
Today I am going to present you general situation and importance of medicinal and aromatic plants in Turkey. In my presentation, I will talk about the following subjects respectively: Turkey's world location, Turkey plant diversity, the situation of medicinal and aromatic plants in Turkey, plot scale extraction system, and the most widely grown medicinal and aromatic plants in Turkey. Turkey's world location. Turkey is a country located in the world center. It's also the closest country to the richest countries in terms of gross national product. It serves as a natural bridge between East-West and North-South and is an effective and cost-effective exit point to major markets. It has access to 1.5 billion customers in Europe, Eurasia, the Middle East, and North Africa. Access to numerous markets with a total GDP of $25 trillion. Turkey is very rich in plant diversity because of being at the intersection of 3 biogeography and having 2 centers in the world. Turkey has a great wild plants with 11,707 plant varieties. A total of 3,649 of these plants are endemic species, and varieties belong to our country, which are grown under some specific climate and soil condition peculiar to the region. This provides a significant advantage in medicinal and aromatic plants cultivation in Turkey, among other countries. The situation of medicinal and aromatic plants in Turkey. Medicinal and aromatic plants are used for preventing diseases, living a healthy life, and disease healing. The number of plants with species collected from nature that are subject to trade in the domestic market is approximately 350. Approximately 100 of these plants are exported. Although the change over the years, 20 kinds of medicinal and aromatic plants are cultivated in 1.3 million hectares in Turkey. Medicinal and aromatic plants are mostly grown in natural environments, but they can be cultured and cultivated in controlled manner. There are dozens of plants in the foraging trade of medicinal and aromatic plants. Some of these plants are included in both industrial plants and medicinal and aromatic plants. There is no special classification and custom tariff statistic position number for medicinal and aromatic plants. Turkey's export of medicinal and aromatic plants in approximately $303.6 million, and the import excluding coffee is about $267.1 million. As in the world, in Turkey, medicinal and aromatic plants are either collected from nature or cultivated. In Turkey, 75% of medicinal and aromatic plants are collected from their natural habitat and forests. Cultivated varieties are limited in number and area. Collected from nature: Daphne, Mahalep, linden, sage, rosemary, licorice, juniper, thyme. Cultivated: cumin, anise, thyme, poppy, saffron, cumin, fennel, mint, hop, coriander, and sage. Varieties cultured in Turkey: poppy, cumin, and saffron have been cultivated for a long time. Anise, fennel, coriander, mint, basil, black seed, cumin, chili pepper, rose damascena, tea plant, bitter gourd, and hop. Rosemary, echinacea, caper, thyme, lavender, chamomile. Bulbous plants like soapfruit, tipton, wheat, glanthus, salep, loden lily, dragon, arum, Drascunculus vulgaris, lilium, fritillaria imperialis, and tulip are among the new cultivars. The most important plants in export: thyme, papaver, somniferum, daphne, tea plant, anise, cumin, sage, mahalep, chili pepper, and herbal teas. Turkey is the most important exporter of thyme, daphne, and papaver somniferum in the world. Thyme takes place on the top in exports with a share of 25%. The project for improving the production of aromatic and medicinal plants and dye plants was initiated by General Directorate of Plant Production. Since 2018, this project has been implemented in 38 provinces. In the following years, the project is aimed to be implemented in 81 provinces. We can use a lot of system for medicinal and aromatic system extraction. For example, in my laboratory in Turkey, distillation system, cold press, solid extraction system, pyrolysis system, discriminal distribution system, and etc. Sage is a valuable essential oil and spice plant belonging to Laminaceae family. According to data from 2019, 92 different taxons and naturally in Turkey. 44 of 92 sage species grown in Turkey are endemic. Although it's reported that there are 900 sage species in the world, the species with the highest medicinal and therefore commercial value are medicinal sage or Dalmatian sage, Greek or Anatolian sage, apple sage, Spanish sage, and musk sage. Turkey is ranked as the 13th in the world in terms of the salvia species richness. It's reported that nearly half of the sage species grown naturally in Turkey are endemic, and it's reported that Salvia fructicus and Salvia tomentosus species, which are called shalba or chalba, are mostly collected. Medicinal sage is not growing naturally in Turkey. The other plant, rosemary, Turkish name Biberia. Rosemary is an evergreen plant that belongs to Laminaceae family with thin leaves that look like a needle. It's a bush-looking plant with purple flowers. It's reported that there are 25 types of rosemary. The only species that grow naturally in Turkey is Rosmarinus officinalis L. Rosemary is usually grown in forest areas. There is no cultivated rosemary. It grows spontaneously in fields and forest areas. Rosemary production usually starts in the middle of July and continues in August, September. The rosemary cut in the field is either left as shoots or laid on the roadside. The rosemary dried for 7 or 10 days, is whisked, and dry leaves are bagged. Selection breeding for rosemary was done 449.1 kilogram decars. Dry leaf was obtained from the weighted test 5. Daphne is the common name of the plant species in the genus Laurus of the Lauriceae family, with the appearance of evergreen tree or shrub. It's a round crown, frequently branched evergreen tree located up 1,200 meters altitude in Mediterranean, Aegean, Marmara, and Black Sea region in wooded areas in Turkey. The areas it's grown naturally and starting from Hatay in Mediterranean area and extends up to eastern and western Mediterranean, Aegean, Marmara, and Black Sea region in Turkey. In addition to leaves and fruits of Daphne, which are subjected to trade and create economic value, the fixed and essential oils obtained from the leaves and fruits are important commercial products. Turkey, which meets the demand of close to 90% of the world's Daphne leaves, is the most important supplier of this product. Daphne constitutes about 24% of Turkey's medicinal and aromatic plants exported value. Turkey Daphne leaf production reached 28,582 tons in 2018. Pine nut. Pine nut belongs to the Pinaceae family, is type of pine that spreads on Asian and Mediterranean coastlines, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Crete, and Turkey. In Turkey, it is naturally found in Bergama, Kozak Basin, Aydın, Mazon, Kaçarlı region, in large wooded areas in Yatak-Katrancı Basin. Although the seeds of more than 20 pine species can be eaten in the world, there are 4 important pine species subject to world trade. These are Pinea sibirica, Gerardiana, and Coraiensis. Pine nut is typical Mediterranean plant. It is mostly grown in Spain, in Mediterranean basin. In Turkey, it's grown in large areas in the Aegean, Mediterranean, and Marmara region. In Turkey, there is a total of 183 183,128 pine nut forests. The 50,789 of them are natural, and 132,339 of them are afro-roasted area. Cantoria. Cantoria is a medicinal plant that belongs to the Hiperaceae family and has been used especially in wound treatment for a long time. There are 19 sections and approximately 100 taxon of Hypericum species in Turkey, and 45 taxon among these are reported to be endemic. In recent years, especially in developed countries, Herba Hypericaea has been one of the most widely used herbal material in the pharmaceutical industry. Hypericin was accepted as the active substance in Hypericum perforatum until 1995. It's naturally found in Marmara, Black Sea, Aegean, Central and Eastern Anatolia, Mediterranean, and Southeast Anatolia region in Turkey. There are 19 sections and approximately 100 taxon of Hypericum species in Turkey, and 45 taxon among these are reported to be endemic. Locust bean. Carob, Carotonia siliqua, belongs to Caesalophynoideas subfamily of the Leguminosae family. In 2017, 16 tons of carob production was carried out in Turkey. 70% of the locusts are obtained from wild trees in Turkey. In 2017, 16 tons of carob fruit was obtained from 335,687 trees that gave fruit. The yield per tree is 45 kilograms. Spain takes place near the top of the terms of field. Obtained locust and Portugal, Morocco, Italy, Greece, and Turkey are to follow, respectively. Turkey's importance of carob are scheduled is seeds in different forms from Germany, Switzerland, France, and the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. Thyme is the general name of Thymus, Thymbra, Origanum, Corydotimus, Saturgia genus from the Laminaceae family. Turkey is in the center of the Laminaceae family gen, and there are 45 varieties, 571 species, and 761 taxons belong to this family. Thyme, which has a 50.61% endemism rate in our country, is Turkey's third richest family. According to researchers carried out in Turkey, there are 81 species belong to 5 different thyme genera, and 41 of them are endemic. While the endemism rate of Origanum species is 66.66%, it is 51.28% for Thymus species and 33.33% for Saturgia species. Origanum's natural range is 600,683 hectares of forest in Turkey, while the production potential in this area 5,241 tons year. Until the early 2000s, a large proportion of the thyme, as 95% of which are exported from Turkey, were collected from nature. The essential oil content in medicinal thyme is 2 or 7% in Turkey. Thymol and carvacrol increase up to 85%, and thyme species present and important economic potential. Rosehip. It is a shrub belonging to the Rosaceae family that can grow 1 or 3.5 meters tall with thorny trunk and branches. Although there are about 100 species in the world, it is available along with at least 24 taxons in Turkey. Rosa canina L is the most common and recognized. In Turkey, although it may be found up to 2,500 meters altitude, starting from the beach in the North Aegean, Marmara and Black Sea region. In the south, it's found from an altitude of 500 or 600 meters on the Mediterranean coast. The seeds of rosehip are not used making marmalade, fruit juice, or herbal tea. It's used as animal feed or fertilizer. Rosehip fruit is used as fruit juice, marmalade, pulp, and tea bags in Turkey, especially Gümüşhane, Erzincan, and Tokat. Lavender. The species belong to genus Lavandula from the Labiate family, are known as lavender. There are 32 species of genus in the world. Lavender are grown in France, Bulgaria, Spain, Italy, Romania, Ukraine, Turkey, Australia, and United States. According to Turkish stat, the lavender fields in Turkey has exceeded 8,600 hectares in 2018. 2 types of lavender are cultivated commercially. These are lavandin and lavender. There are varieties, Lavandula X intermediate variety in Turkey. Truffle. Tuber truffle species are natural fruits that grow under the ground. Edible, delicious, and have unique aroma. 7 of 24 truffle species in Turkey are endemic. The most common species of truffle that grows in Turkey, which is black in color, Tuber aestivum variety. Truffle mushroom is richer in protein and minerals than other mushrooms. In the trade of truffles, Turkey in the medium and long term from the world market aimed at getting a share of $1 billion. The price per kilogram of truffles varies between 100 euros and 1,500 euros depending on the genus, variety, and quality. Thank you so much for listening to me. For the topics you want to ask, you can contact me from my contact information. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation about the medicinal plant diversity in Turkey. Particularly, you have highlighted oregano and lavender species, and you said that 8,600 hectares lavender has been cultivated in 2018. It is wonderful information. Now, I think we'll have some questions, discussions from audience participants. One or two questions from participants.
Yeah, this is. Am I audible?
Yeah, please. You are audible.
See, Chaco, maybe the next presenter. It was a very highly informative presentation.
Okay,
and,
let us go for next person. Let us go for next presentation. Now to another presentation from Kerala RCFC Southern Region. Dr. K.C. Chaku is with us, and he will give more information, and he will highlight some of the issues and challenges in the cultivation areas, particularly in the Southern Region. So let us proceed with Chaku. Sir, please continue.
It is a simple presentation.
Okay.
I have listed out the factors and players, and
Right.
and under that factors and players, what is the situation now and what is required.
Right. Okay.
Under factors and players, I have listed 4 items. Number 1 is demand, second one is land, third one is entrepreneurs, fourth one is market, and the fifth one is government. I thought if these factors and players are taken care of, yeah, that's fine. Next slide, please. As you see, on the top you can see the factors or players and the situation and what is required. Now, under factors, you can see demand, the land, entrepreneurs, and the government. You can see, as you know, we have a high domestic and export demand. No one in this forum will contradict that. There is no special data also required to substantiate that. But what is required in this case is, from our experience, while dealing with the buyers, what we have found is quality assurance is required. To give an example, we have put one Tamil Nadu entrepreneur in touch with one of the leading exporters in the country. He is number 2 organic exporters in the country. This Tamil Nadu entrepreneur, he was growing what you call drumstick. He collects drumstick leaves, dried one, either in leaves form or powder form. In domestic market, the drumstick leaves get around 65 to 70 rupees. But the exporter is willing to give 270 rupees provided he satisfies the quality control parameters. At our interest, special interest, they collected sample from that industry and sent for testing. Most of the tests undergone, he qualified. The sample qualified, except in one test where they detected pesticide spray during the last 3 months. Hence, the consignment failed. This gives a clear example as to we should give importance for quality assurance. I have just explained only one quality assurance. There are many instances. We can note anyone involved in export or high quality internal consumption will go for material, and only when this quality material is cultivated by farmers, he gets profit. His material is sold out. This quality, drug research is also important. You may wonder why I am speaking about drug research when we are talking about medicinal plants cultivation. As one of our presenter, I heard him telling that our products should always be evidence-based. Whatever product we make out of the this raw drug, until it is tested and accepted by respective drug authorities, that drug will not stand for a long time in the market, or may not enter market at all. Only if such drugs enter into market, domestic market as well as international market, the farm cultivation will be promoted. That is about demand. Now, coming to land, we are wondering whether we have enough land to cultivate. Yes, with the inflow of people coming to inquire about medicinal plants cultivation, we find that there is a lot of scope for extending our land area. This morning, a person from Tamil Nadu came all the way from Tamil Nadu to Kerala to meet us and seek advice. He has more than 100 acres in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. That's all owned by his grandpa, father, and transferred. So there are 4 types of lands mainly: uncultivated land, unproductive land. This unproductive land will be either in government or private sector, and people go for crop rotation. For example, people who have been cultivating rubber for quite a long time, they are seeking an alternative species for cultivation. So in medicinal plant sector, we have several multi-purpose tree crops as well as species which can be intercultivated. Another scope is intercropping. People, plantations, aware of species intercropped with which will get revenue. Now, where the problem? There are not many to give them advice. Okay, piecemeal advices are always there, but on a turnkey basis, we need to have a system where these people are given consultancy services, right from sourcing the planting material, site identification, planting, harvesting, post-harvest technology, and even marketing. Such sort of a consultancy system has to be in place. either in private sector or government sector. That type of a turnkey consultancy programs services will have to be ensured. How we can ensure that, we will have to think over. One of the ways by which this can be done is by taking the services of people who are already doing these activities in the field. Then target planting. We have always been talking about quality planting material, QPM. Now it is time that we turn to target planting material. A quality planting material which is required, which is needed for a particular situation or a site is termed as a target planting material. I'm not going to details of that one. Machinery is another important thing. People are unable to find suitable machinery for planting, harvesting. For example, in Kerala, Sida alnifolia, people pull it out manually. They need a specialized machine. I understand that there are machines for harvesting potato and other tuber crops, but we need to have. And also post-harvest machinery, there also machinery for each thing. For example, somebody was inquiring about asparagus peeling machine. I inquired different places. Somebody said it's only 40% successful. Somebody said it will only be successful to 60%, and no one said that such a machine is there. Entrepreneurs, the main entrepreneurs and new entrants are there. We find IT industry leaving their job and to cultivate this one. Engineers from different areas, administrative people from many sectors, they take to farming. What is needed is again a consultancy service for in technology, funding, pre-processing, packaging, and marketing. Should be and also they should be advised of the financial support in the country. Coming to market, as I said, quality conscious, and there should be supply, sustained supply. People take up cultivation and they enter into a buyback agreement with the industry. They say that, sorry, this time the crop failed, we are unable to give. I thought we will get this much production, and it did not happen. That cannot happen when you enter into a buyback arrangement on a sustained basis with an industry. In this case, certification is important. Testing facilities should be there. The buyback and buyback should be abided by both the seller and buyer. There are instances, for example, in Andhra Pradesh, we have seen that people cultivated aloe vera. The buyback agreement did not, that was a breach of trust from the buyer. So they suffered. So such thing cannot happen. Also, when I spoke to an industry, they said, we will buy, provided they have to give us, they have to give, abide by the quantity they have agreed. Last one, but not the least, favorable. Government of India, different states are encouraging the medicinal plants cultivation. What is required is timely action from the government and the government agencies. Any delay in releasing funds or accepting their projects, processing it, etc., will amount to loss for the farmers, and they may not come back to this venture again once they are unsatisfied. Next slide, please. Yes, I'm just giving a glimpse of what we have been doing in terms of promoting cultivation. You can see in the first slide, Plumbago indica is being cultivated by a farmer in Kerala, where our CEO also visited recently. And that in the next slide, you see a godown where Sida alnifolia has been stored. You can see how bulky it is, and there should be a post-harvest or pre-processing technology by which the bulk should be reduced and it should be packaged neatly and given to the farmer. You can see Acorus calamus being cultivated in Telangana. Raulifia serpentina also in Telangana. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. Curcuma cassia, a black turmeric being cultivated at the instance of Tamil Nadu Agriculture University in Periyakulam. And Melia dubia ossimum agroforestry system in Yadgir district, a remote district in Karnataka. Next, please. Here we show just an instance of how we can value add a product and encourage the industry to take it up. You see in the bottle, you can see it's a amla shreddings produced by RCFC Southern, and being at the bottom you see it is being handed over by the principal investigator of the project to the MD Aushadhi in presence of a cooperative society who will take up it on a large scale. The MD, managing director of the Aushadhi, that's a state-owned pharmaceutical corporation in Kerala, they have agreed to give an order for a first batch of Chavanaprasham of this product, irrespective of rates are all not finalized. Same Aushadhi has accepted from us a pre-processed package Alna Sida alnifolia for use in their organization. So these are the ways by which we can pre-processing. And you see, amla, these seeds, normally forestry people, they find it difficult to pre-treat for germination. Now, this is equivalent to a pre-treated one. Once it is dried, the seeds inside break open and come out, and that can be planted in the nursery or for reforestation. Next, please. With this, I thank you. These are all maybe things which are known to us, but it is not listed out, and that will go from our memory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shakusab. You have given some highlights about the demand and land activities and marketing related activities and drug research too. Then you also given that some of the cultivation of medicinal plants, Plumbago xylonica, Sida, Acorus, Raulifia, and Curcuma, and Melia species. I think you might have all the agro techniques of these species. You might have documented the agro techniques of all these species?
Yes, sir, we have.
Acha, okay, please. You can share it to our NMBB so that we can proceed further. So any cultivator of the above species can contact RCFC Southern Region, Kerala for further information of these species. So any questions from participants, please? If any questions, please. Otherwise, we'll proceed to next speaker.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now we'll go for the next speaker. Next speaker is Dr. Arun Chandan, Regional Director, RCFC Northern Region 1, Himachal Pradesh. So the Himachal Pradesh and Jammu Kashmir is mostly on higher altitude medicinal plants, and we may have very good information from both speakers. Particularly in Himachal Pradesh, and there is a lot of higher altitude, high volume species, also the high value species of Aconitum and Podophyllum, Exandrum, Virginia, Himalaya, like that higher altitude species are growing there. Let us have some good information from Dr. Arun Chandra, sir. Sir, please take over your session, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Although I am unwell today, but still I thought because it was a commitment, so I should be there for the presentation. So I am not using any PPT today. I'll just speak a few of the points. So I will just add to the points which have been raised by Dr. K.C. Chacko, the issues and challenges which are there in cultivation of medicinal plant sector. So as Sir has rightly said that Himalayas, definitely we do have species of high altitude, particularly that RTE species, rare, threatened and endangered species, as he rightly pointed out, like Kutki, Podophyllum, Exandrum, Swarshia chiraita, and number of species are there. Total we are working on 32 species in Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, two Himalayan states. We do cover Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, and Himachal Pradesh for the purpose of marketing and cultivation. So one thing which I would like to highlight here is that this last year and this year we extensively worked on Picrorhiza crua, that is Kutki basically. So, most of the Kutki is collected from the wild. So, very, very small areas are there under cultivation. In Uttarakhand, area is more, in Himachal, area is less. But on both fronts, for promotion of cultivation, we worked on providing quality planting material for Kutki, as well as regulating the trade of Kutki, which is collected from the wild. Similarly, another species is Revolvia serpentina, Sarpagandha. For the lower areas of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, as well as Kandi area of Punjab and Haryana. So this species has been introduced, and more than 100 acres of area has been brought under cultivation of Sarpagandha. So this is one great achievement by RCFC NR1. Similarly, 30 metric ton of Kutki has been facilitated to be traded by through the traders to the industry or to the middleman. As far as cultivation challenges, if we discuss, this quality planting material is definitely a big challenge. And in one district of Himachal Pradesh, we have recently taken up the issue of converging this cultivation with various existing schemes, particularly Manrega and subsidy component of National Ayush Mission through the Department of Ayush Himachal Pradesh. So in district Una, this has been taken up along with cultivation of shatavari and stevia together. So this process has been initiated through a network of self-help groups, and those self-help groups, they have organized themselves into a farmer-producer company. That is, I can say that India's first women farmer-producer company, particularly created for the cultivation of medicinal plants, and they have started taking up this Revolvia serpentina, stevia and shatavari in a large scale. Marketing arrangement has been done. Contrary to the suggestions given by Dr. K.C. Chacko, we have entered into an agreement with a company as a buyback arrangement, because as we are dealing with GAP and GFCPs, and we feel it relevant that to introduce good field collection practices as well as cultivation practices, buyback arrangements can go in a long way. And both the parties, particularly as far as the quality concerns are there, because most of the time people, they are not ready to sell their produce at a small price. This is a big challenge which we are facing, because most of the farmers, they in Himachal and Uttarakhand, they took up cultivation of tulsi in a large scale. But when it came to the sale price of tulsi, they refused that they will not be selling tulsi less than 200 rupees a kilo. because companies they were just interested to buy it for 100 rupees or less than that. But what they did is they started value adding tulsi at their group level, and they started selling it, and they are now getting good returns for their produce. We have 4 types of plants here. We have a lot of wastelands in mountains. As far as the high altitude species goes, it's a big challenge that we have very less land to cultivate. Private land is very less, and gestation period of most of the Himalayan species is 3 to 4 years. So this is a big challenge actually. So and to meet out that challenge, we are looking into grasslands which are in high altitude areas. Even we do have private forest which belong to the people. So we are trying to introduce some schemes with the state governments where long-term plans for cultivation of medicinal plants can be taken up. We feel that a big challenge is there because medicinal plants, they are not insured actually. Farmers, they don't have any security for insurance of medicinal crops, and it's a big challenge which should be taken care immediately. As I told in marketing, we are into the process of helping the farmers as well as the traders to regulate the wild collection of the species. So we did in case of Kutki and Podophyllum this year. We brought a lot of other stakeholders into this thing because a lot of demand was received from outside. Similarly, we have documented a lot of case studies, successful farmers, failures of the farmers who have taken up cultivation of medicinal plants. As Dr. Chako has said, most of young people who have come back from cities back to the mountains, back to the villages in Himalayas. So they have started doing some cultivation of medicinal plants. They have started turmeric cultivation. They are into Kutki cultivation and some other species cultivation. So certification we have taken up because with some of the farmer producer companies which we have constituted in Punjab, Haryana and Himachal. So we have taken up certification process with SGS because they were interested to export their produce to Poland and America. So to get their products registered or passed through FDA, so we have approached SGS. So those companies are now in touch with SGS for certification so that they can export their produce now. And on similar grounds, they are even in touch with some other certification agencies for getting certified their private forest as organic and other certifications. So I personally believe that to just make success in this sector, cultivation of medicinal plants, we need to manage the entire chain of supply chain management, because we need to look into high-tech post-harvest management processes. We need to go for quality planting material, good genetically this preserved planting material, as well as good cultivars. We need to give it to the farmers so that good quality, or because the major challenge is the cost benefit analysis. Because if we compare the production of medicinal plants with the traditional crops, definitely we need to prove that they can give them double or triple income if certain inputs are given. So to manage this supply chain management, so we have introduced small initiatives. We have, I was just going through the presentation of Dr. Osman, and I was impressed with the small post-harvest techniques they are using. So similarly, we have also collected information and collected samples of some small machines for post-harvest management, which we have been giving to the farmers so that they can value add their produce at the source, or even they can go further for processing their produce as a food supplement or a Ayush medicine, and then they can sell it out. So we have small success stories where young people, they are now growing buckwheat and they are now processing buckwheat and they are making certain products under food, under FSSAI, and they are selling it. They are doing good business out of that. So I call it as an end-to-end solution. So we are encouraging end-to-end solution for farmers who have less land, and they can collaborate with the farmers locally, and then they can collectively process it, and then they can sell it. To take it further, RCFC NR1 has collaborated with Department of Industries Himachal Pradesh under a CM startup scheme to initiate entrepreneurship in medicinal plant sector. So we have now right now we have 10 incubators who are incubating at our center. They are using our facilities. They are doing innovations in product development, and now they are in between. Now they are developing their products. So we have collaborated with the Khadi and Village Industries Commission. We have collaborated with the leading banks, Citi and other banks. They are financing our incubators, and they are taking benefit of state industrial policy and coming up in a big way. So this is brief about some of the challenges and issues which I would like to share, and some of the activities of RCFC and Urban. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arun Chandra sir. You have given very good information about the high altitude species, the challenges which you are facing right now. Anyhow, the marketing is one of the important aspects, and you have highlighted some of the points. In fact, even NFBB and industry is going to tie up with to establish a marketing, good marketing for the raw material. It is under processing, and in another couple of months or next financial year, we can do that work also of Sadiram and all the things for marketing purpose. So now we'll expert some questions. If any question from participant, please you can ask some questions. Otherwise, we'll proceed for the next final presentation. Right. Okay, then we'll go for next presentation. Next presenter is Professor Sheikh Bilal Ahmed, Regional Director, RCFC from JMK, Northern Region 2. Actually, when I was, I have a little experience in Kashmir, Himalaya, because I was working there in Kashmir University for some time, 90 to 97. That time I have field collection at Chekdara, Magadev and Pir Banjal forest areas. The thing is, there is an interesting section, information is, there is 6 months is the vegetation. Within the 6 months, they have to make all the vegetation over, harvesting, everything. Some of the species are getting biennials. First year the vegetation species, and next year, second year only you will harvest the end product. So like this, some interesting areas. We will have some good information from Dr. Bilal Ahmed sir. Now I request Dr. Bilal to take the session over. Please, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon. So we are talking about today on the cultivation of medicinal plants, opportunities and challenges. Basically, with reference to Jammu Kashmir, as you have got an experience also here, the medicinal plants have been by and large being collected from the wild only for a long time now. And though there are farmers who have started the cultivation of the medicinal plants, but there are some innate issues with them, and there are some other issues insofar as the cultivation is concerned. But it's a good thing that people have started cultivating. We'll be highlighting those challenges, and then what are the different issues, what are different ways that these are being addressed, and what is the way forward for that. So first of all, I would say that our Himalayan region, the high altitude medicinal plants, we would categorize as the Himalayan region into 4 categories. If we talk about Shivaliks and outer Himalayas, which have got an altitude of about 600 to 1500, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jammu hills, and Arunachal Pradesh comes in it. Then what is the most important is the lesser or the middle Himalayas, in which we have got the Pir Panchal range, we have got Dhola Dar in range in this Himachal Pradesh. Then we have got Mussoorie and Nath Yuba in Uttarakhand. Then this is one of the area where we have got most of the these high altitude medicinal plants. Then we have got another region in this, that is the Greater Himalayas, and we know that it is a Zojila La. La is for the passes, HP, Shiplik, and in Uttarakhand also Thagala. And by and large, these are the desert areas which receive very little precipitation, and little biodiversity is actually available in this. And then we have got an important trans-Himalayan or Tibetan Himalayan region, which is which includes Karakoram and Kailash mountain ranges, which are snowbound. But there are important two regions, that is Ladakh and Zanskar region, where there is a very good diversity of medicinal plants. Now, important medicinal plants of the Himalayas, JK, HP, and Uttarakhand. We have got I have listed. There's a very good diversity, but I have listed some of the plants which have got basically they are high valued medicinal plants, or they are threatened medicinal plants, or they are being hunted for the trade. So I am listing those medicinal plants here, and particularly these are Atropa, Acuminata, Texas Baccata, Ichnia, Purpurea, Virginia. We have got Podophyllum, Susuria, Picorrhiza, Berberis, Trillium guanium is one of the important. And then one of the important crops that is being grown in Kashmir is the Crocus sativa, that is the saffron. I'll be talking about this because in this case, I'll tell you there's a success story which was basically on behest of when we talked about CEO National Medicinal Plant Board about this, and they gave us a go for it, and it was really a very successful story. I'll be talking about it. Then in Trans-Himalayan region, we have got some of the important medicinal plants, that is Ephedra gerardiana, and then Hippophaea raminoides, Juniperus communis, and there is a National Medicinal Plant Board is also thinking to have these corridors, particularly in Ladakh, and I think then in the next scheme in which there is which is before the House for the approval, and probably in that there could be a corridor for these plants in the Ladakh region, and farmers will be immensely benefited once this comes up. And this is the general, the medicinal plant is basically in their natural ecosystem, and the plants that I talked about, and this is the photograph of these plants. And now there's a cultivation. They were earlier wild, and now the cultivation is there. Now I would like to say why is the practice is very common so far as a wild harvest. We are talking about cultivation of the medicinal plants, but what is basically the problem with the wild harvest of the medicinal plants, which is in vogue at present also, and people are by and large about 99% of the people are basically getting the plants from the wild, insofar as these high altitude medicinal plants are concerned, although they have got the benefits. Both, for example, from species and ecosystem point of view, it puts the wild plant population in the continuing interest of the local people, because once they start extracting the plants from these ecosystems, there is always the interest that these populations should go there, and it has an advantage. It maintains wild populations, their habitats, and the genetic diversity. From the perspective of the people, it provides access to cash income without prior investment, because it is only a simple collection. It maintains the resource for the rural population on a long-term basis. Of course, if it is being extracted from an unsustainable basis, then it is quite beneficial for the people. And from the market point of view, it is cheaper, as it does not require any infrastructure or critical inputs. Now, one of the things when we talk about these medicinal plants is that we often talk that they should be organic medicinal plant. There should be no pesticides, there should be no these fertilizers in it. So when you go and collect them from their natural habitats, they have got no pesticides and they have got no fertilizers. So this is one of the requirements, and this is what is being required by the companies also. It is also believed by many people that the plants that are being collected from the wild are more powerful. Again, this is because they think once they are brought from the natural ecosystem, high altitudes, and brought down in the plains for the cultivation, probably some of the active ingredients, which are the main components in it, because they get compromised. Now, in this case, this is our present CEO of National Medicinal Plant Board has realized this importance, and he was talking that probably in future we'll be considering giving some mobile testing facilities, so that the cultivators who cultivate these medicinal plants, bringing them from their natural ecosystems, and they will be evaluated for their active ingredients so that they get better remuneration for their produce. Disadvantage with the oil harvest are there. Uncontrolled harvest leads to extension of ecotypes and species, and there has been an impact. And we're talking about some of the plants which are extremely now threatened and no more available also. And then again, one of the disadvantages is that the common access to the resource makes it difficult to adhere to the quotas and precautionary, because there is a destructive collection techniques, and there is a wanton collection of these medicinal plants from the ecosystem. And destructive harvesting is again one of the things which affects these medicinal plants. That leads to the loss of genetic diversity, extinction of species, habitat destruction, and conversion to crop-based agricultural lands takes place with this. Species threatened with the extinction. So there are a lot of species which used to come from the forest, and there is a lot of pressure on that. However, all the medicinal plants are not equally being affected. The susceptibility or the resilience shown by these medicinal plants depends upon so many factors. There can be some of the medicinal plants which could be highly susceptible, but there could be some of the medicinal plants which could show extreme resilience. Now it depends upon so many factors like narrow or broad geographical distribution. If the geographical distribution is narrow, the pressure is more, while as the broad geographical distribution help us in the resilience. Habitat specificity. If some of the medicinal plants which are grown in specific habitats, and they suffer most. And for example, we have got some of the medicinal plants, for example, Susuria, as we know that it grows at certain altitudes. And then once it is extraction is there, excessive extraction is there, the habitat specificity, their habitat specificity, and that results to the extinction or the threat. Population size, small or large, this affects the extinction of the species or the threatening or the lower availability of these medicinal plants. As we know that in case of Texas baccata, which contains Dexol and used for the ovarian cancer, it has become endangered now. So Suria costus, Dactyla rhiza, and Polygonotum. Arnabia benthami, we used to find this Arnabia benthami very commonly, but now it is very rarely seen anywhere. With a great Trillium guaranium. Trillium guaranium is one of the medicinal plants which sells at a rate of about 5,000 rupees per kg. Now you hardly find it. So there are a lot of issues insofar as this is concerned. Then why do we go for the cultivation of these medicinal plants? As I said that they were easily available in the natural ecosystems. Now there is a need for medicinal plant cultivation of the medicinal plant. Basically, the National Medicinal Plant Board is putting a lot of efforts to see that large chunk of the land in the country is being brought under the cultivation of the medicinal plants. But why is it so? Because the consumption of the herbal medicine is widespread. There's a high market demand for it, and harvesting pressure and destructive collection techniques have led to the reduced availability of these medicinal plants, and they are not in tune for fulfilling the targets of the pharmaceutical companies, and that is why we have to go for the cultivation. What will this cultivation do? Basically, it will provide an alternative source of support, and thus reduce the need for the collection of these plants from the wild. Therefore, this will reduce pressure on the threatened species and promote their conservation as well. Cultivation of medicinal plants will provide an additional source of income for the poor people, and it guarantees the continuous supply of the raw material to the pharmaceutical companies. So that is the advantage why we should go. Additional benefits are it would generate employment, because one is the farmers will start cultivating the medicinal plants in their lands, and that will check the migration of the rural population to the urban areas. That is an additional advantage. It has a relatively higher net return as compared to agricultural and horticultural crops. It can be integrated into existing cropping system or farming system. That is one of the big things, because people don't have to go and raise as a sole crop. It could be integrated with the integrated farming system of the existing crops, and therefore that provides an additional advantage. Foreign exchange earnings through the exports are really very huge. There is low incidence of pests and diseases. Crops can be grown anywhere in the marginal. So there is a need to focus on the cultivation of these medicinal plants. Other benefits of commercial cultivation are the process of collection and harvesting can be effectively monitored under cultivation system. They can be collected at the right time, and because once the collection from the forests or from the natural ecosystem is being done, so the people go and collect them. Maybe it is not the right time when the active ingredient has developed in that. So under the cultivation system, it can be achieved because the harvesting can be done at the right time. Drying and storage can be more effectively because again we have got a lot of problems insofar as this the products after harvest are being because in order to have good quality drugs we need to have that proper drying and storage has to be there, and that can be done regulated and controlled very effectively in case of cultivated crops. That is an advantage. Purity of the finished product is assured under cultivation as the weeds, contaminants and others can be removed during the growth of the crop. Quality and production of the drug can be improved under cultivation by selection of high yielding and disease resistant and seeds and varieties. The use of natural fertilizers which we normally do not apply, for example in composting and other things which are not available under the system, but under the cultivation system they can be added and the yields and the quality can be increased, and therefore the cultivation will ensure the regular and constant supply to the companies. Disadvantages of cultivation as they are usual with the failure of the higher cost of production because earlier they are very easily available. Now once it goes for the cultivation there will be higher cost and lack of required environment from some of the specific plants is required because they grow in the natural niche areas, and once they are brought into cultivation you have to provide the adequate environment for their growth. However, these are some of the drawbacks which are found with the other crops also, but that should not stop us from the other from cultivating these plants because the benefits outweigh these disadvantages. Opportunities for the medicinal plants and the cultivation of widespread use of natural products and chemicals from botanical herbs is there. Very high domestic and export demand, better price, availability of high yielding varieties developed by organizations, they are available with us. Availability of agro techniques is there. Profitable return is on sustainable basis. Good agriculture and collection practices are available, which have been developed by several organizations, and now they have been also brought out by the in the documents of the National Medicinal Plant Board. So they require minimum resources, or their plants could be raised, as I said, in the intercrops in the rational way. Now, what are the challenges in it? Challenges, that is the focus we are talking, because again, National Medicinal Plant Board is going in a big way for the cultivation of the medicinal plants throughout the country. There's a huge target that has been fixed by the Ayush Ministry. Now, what are the challenges that we face? We have got agro techniques. Now, as we say that medicinal plant agro techniques are available, only 1% of the total medicinal plants known globally. National Medicinal Plant Board has compiled although 104 agro technologies so far. That is very well documented. But there is a need to develop large number of these agro technologies, because when we talk about thousands of plants being used in the country for the different drugs and other things, and if we have to go for the cultivation, we have to produce these agro techniques. Availability of copium, planting material has to be of a good quality and rich in active ingredients. Now, in this case, again, National Medicinal Plant Board has taken a very big issue, big stride in this, and regarding the production of the quality planting material through different agencies. Decision making is a big challenge again, whether one should go for the large scale farming, one has to go whether monoculture has to be adopted or it has to go in a polyculture mode for the medicinal plants. That's a big decision, but there are opportunities available again, whether we should go for the polyculture, intercropping, Primary processing for harnessing higher qualities in indicate, although today Dr. Shastri was saying that there are 800 such infrastructures have been in the country, but still we need a lot of them. Market assurance is again a big thing, because when farmers go and ask for the cultivation of the medicinal plant, then the first question that comes is, what is the market for them? Again, National Medicinal Plant Board is doing a lot of things in it. New incentives are being done, and we'll be talking about that. Constraints, agrotechnologies, as I said, only 20 species of rare and endangered medicinal plants of northern India have been developed so far by the different organizations. At present, farming of most medicinal plants is done on small scale in the northern areas. As I said, that bulk of the products, they come from their natural ecosystem. There is an uncertainty of obtaining necessary permits. One of the big issues is that permits are not being granted to the cultivators. So they face a lot of problems. Once they go, we have got some of the instances here, some of the farmers who cultivated Susuria this time, and then they were asking for the permits. They were not granted permits, and then they had to sell that produce illegally. So I think that some of the issues are being with the UT coming in this. I think those laws are being revisited, and I hope that we should be in a position to get something better, so that this becomes easy for the farmers to get the permits for the cultivation of the medicinal plants, and their exploitation by the middlemen is avoided. Now, market issues, again, a big thing. Market system in the medicinal plants is largely unregulated and inequitable. So this is something which needs to be issued, and because it is for the poor farmers, they are unaware often about the market prices of the medicinal plants. Marketing infrastructure is to be created, and one of the approaches that has been adopted is the top-down approach. Insofar as the marketing is concerned, we need to go for a bottom-up approach, so that we shall be in a position to overtake these, because most of the time they are unaware about what is happening in the markets. Other challenge in the cultivation of medicinal plants, slow rate of production of many medicinal plants and gestation period, shortage of suitable cultivation, as I said, paucity of research on high-yielding varieties, although some of the varieties CMAP is doing some, and many other organizations are doing these. Fluctuations in demand and supply are there. Poor quality procedures for marketing infrastructure, as I said. On many occasions, medicinal plants manufacturers prefer to use the products or the plant materials that are available in the natural ecosystems, because they contain better chemical content. As I said, that National Medicinal Plant Board is thinking to provide those mobile testing facilities, and so that we could look after this. Now, what is the way forward? How do we do it? So we have to go for the development of agrotechnologies. As on now, we have got 104 available from the National Medicinal Plant Board. Now, another important thing that National Medicinal Plant Board has initiated is a cluster-based farming approach. As we live in these mountain areas, the land holding is very, very little. It's 0.6 hectares per farmer. So now the cluster-based approach is there, and we have also RCFC North has done a very good. We have developed about 23 clusters in Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh, and now we are waiting for I was talking about my people in the National Medicinal Plant Board, and they are hopeful about the new scheme that is coming, so that we could start that cluster-based cultivation of those priority medicinal plants. Opium production, again, it has been initiated, a very big, good issue taken by the National Medicinal Plant Board through RCFCs, and every RCFC has a mandate to produce quality planting material, at least 1 lakh planting material per year. State medicinal plant boards and ICR and CSR institutes are also doing. Development of high-yielding varieties is again an issue with the is a way forward. Human resource development, certificate courses need to be initiated by the institutes, and this is very important, because by this way, many young people educated unemployed youth can also be brought about towards the medicinal plant sector. And skill development training program is another thing. Development of production systems. As we know that whether monoculture we do, agroforestry is another thing where we could take these medicinal plants in the agroforestry system, or tree or crop-based intercropping system is there. Boundary plantation is particularly of the trees. We have got some of the plant, these plants, tree plantation is where we suggest that they should be taken on the boundaries. Diversification of the land resources. Again, as I said, that we have taken the land from the traditional areas away to the non-traditional areas, particularly of saffron. And this was really a very good success. And we had taken it as per the directions by the National Medicinal Plant Board. We had taken it, given it to 6 farmers in this. And at all the 6 places, it is really a very grand success. And it is going to be a game changer in Jammu Kashmir. And market assurance and linkage are to be developed to give a confidence to the growers, and it is being done through each appropriate forum and new initiatives by the National Medicinal Plant Board. National Medicinal Plant Board is regularly now transmitting us the information that they have tied up with the linkages with the pharmaceutical companies, and so that we could inter alia go with the farmers and tell them to how they can have a buyback program with those pharmaceutical companies. As I told, mobile facilities by CEO for quality testing of cultivated plants is another important thing that will ensure the quality of active ingredients in the medicinal plants that are being cultivated. So this was about the saffron in the non-traditional areas where we distributed it to the farmers, and the entire land that was normally traditionally not required for the, they used to grow vegetables as a field crops for this, and now we have been in a position to get saffron. And next year, that is the ensuing year, we shall be getting a bumper crop with all the farmers. This time it is snow-clad and everything. And this was some of the flowers which had come in the first season. Normally it comes into bearing in the second year. This is the quality planting material that we develop and for distribution among the farmers. And this is an RCFC activity, and as mandated by the National Medicinal Plant Board, we are developing this quality as is being done by the other RCFCs. This is the quality QPM we are doing. This is the Susuria costus that we have been producing and distributing it to the farmers. Technical support for the cultivation is also provided by National Medicinal Plant Board, State Medicinal Plant Boards, and RCF, State Agriculture University, CMAP and other CSR institutes, HRDI in Uttarakhand, ICFR, Dehradun ICR Institute, Bihar. We have got a linkage with the Bihar Institute for the cultivation for the production of the quality planting material for its distribution.
We'll go a little fast because we are short of time.
Sure, I'll complete, sir.
Thank you.
This is incentives offered by the National Medicinal Plant to energize the medicinal plant cultivation throughout India. Offers National Medicinal Plant Board offers a subsidy 75% for highly endangered, 50% for critically, 30% for other therapeutic uses. This is the species, 13 species of where there is 75% subsidy, particularly the plant is at the high altitude medicinal plants for which there is 75%. So there is an encouragement for the farmers for the cultivation of these medicinal plants. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Brasab. Actually, you have given a very brief information about the high altitude species, particularly in JNK. It gets me, I remember, for my past time also. You have highlighted 2-3 points, very informative. That is loss of genetic diversity. This is one of the issues which we have to be look into the matter. Right. And habitat destruction. Right. See, this habitat destruction and the loss of geneticity, which leads to extinction of the species. You have rightly pointed out. So it is the ecologists and other botanists should come together for to look after these issues. And actually, with the RET species, actually our CEO and NBB is very much interested in promoting the RET species through the cultivation. So we have started the activities, and we will hope the best. And we have given a good information about the employment generation through the cultivation of medicinal plants. and marketing also. So NMBB is focusing on these issues and will look better in the future. So with this, I thank all the four participants who have given a very good information on the cultivation of medicinal plants in different regions, different areas, and their agrotechnic activities and issues and challenges. So with this, I thank one and all the participants, and also for the RCFC and Jadavpur University for their coordination with this international conference. Thank you one and all, please.
Thank you.